Okay, so now we're going to create that drop shadow. We're on that layer entitled drop shadow, so we're going to change the outline color to gray 3%, I believe it was, and increase the weight to 4, and click apply, and there we go. So in this next section, she's asking you to symbolize multiple values. It starts on page 34. I had a really hard time actually following this part of the lab. You might not. You know, it's always good to try it yourself and see if it actually turns out, just simply because just things for some reason can work differently for different people. What I'm going to do for you is a little bit of a workaround in order to achieve the results that she achieves in the end. It's a little more, well, I wouldn't say more complicated, because I feel like actually what she does is sort of complicated as well, but it uses a little bit more of spatial analysis tools, which I know isn't something we're necessarily focusing on in this class, but it is a workaround, and it's pretty easy once you see how it works. So what she's attempting to do is show, if you look at the end result, is we're creating a little kind of reference pull-out map that's going to go sit in the bottom left corner of the layout. And in order to do that, I need to create an image of the United States that's highlighted and different from the rest of the country, or rest of the countries of the world. So if we go to the North America tab, we can see yet again that the data is not connected. So we're going to connect it by going through to Properties. So we're here, we click Source, Shapefile, Set Data Source, and we're doing that Country North America Shapefile. Okay. Okay, and now we're good. Okay, so in order to achieve what she achieves through the steps in the following pages, the first thing I'm going to do is open up the attribute table for the layer. Okay. So we see all of the attributes here, and what I'm going to do is scroll down until I find the United States. I can find it by looking, you can look at any field you want that will help you, but I just glance at the country name here. And almost there. And we're here, United States. So we're going to click on the gray square all the way to the left of the 151, and that's going to highlight the whole line. And you can see up on the map. Okay, so yeah, you can see up here, because I selected just that one country, it's been highlighted up here on the map in cyan. So what I am going to do with this is go up to the very top, and you'll see that we're going to go up to our ribbon pane again where it says Feature Layer. I'm going to click on, I'm forgetting, Data. There we go. Feature Layer, Data tab. And we're going to hover over to the Selection area. It's the third square down. And there's that button that says Layer from Selection. So essentially I'm going to create a new layer from this one selection I've made down here. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to generate a new layer. It just pops up automatically down here. So what this has done is created a layer that is just North America, which we'll see in a moment. So now we want to unselect this off of this North America map down here. So we hit the clear button at the top, so it takes away the cyan. So now I want to just change my symbology to reflect what she does in the lab instructions. So I'm going to close my attribute table. I don't need that open anymore. I'm going to click on, I'm going to rename this. Let's call this All Countries. And this is in America. Okay. So we're going to make all countries. What does she have you do it in the book? I think it's 10%, let's say. So we can leave it single symbol. I'm going to click on the orange. We're going to make the color gray 10% and click apply. Okay, now we're going to go click on that North America layer there, come over to the symbology, click on the little square, and make it gray 50%, since that is what she asks for in the book. Apply. So there we go. That's how we achieve what she did through all those steps, which I didn't find terribly straightforward. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the section where she does setting bookmarks. Looking at page 39, we're going to look at doing bookmarks by first zooming into where we want to be on what we want to be showing for our little pull-out portion on the map. So if you recall from our last lab, we're just going to roll the mouse forward, the mouse wheel, until it kind of captures the screen we want to show. So I'm going to kind of line it up the way she has it in the book. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to click the bookmark icon and select bookmark. Oh, sorry, it's a new bookmark. And we're going to call it North America. And that's it. That bookmarks exactly what we have on the screen there, the extent that we show. It says now when you click bookmarks, you will see your new bookmark with a thumbnail for handy reference. So you can see it right there. I clicked on bookmark and it shows up, which is very nice. Test it out. We go to the full extent, we click that globe. We're back on our full globe image. And we go to bookmarks, North America, and voila. We are back to North America. So bookmarks are a great way to keep track of your areas. Yes, okay. Transitioning to the layout view. When you create a map for printing or digital publication, you work in the layout view, which we know about. Now that you've got your individual maps and symbols ready to go, it's time to assemble a layout. So we've done this before. We're going to click Insert, New Layout, and she wants the ANSI landscape letter. Click on that, and it's going to create a layout tab. Okay, and remember we need to insert that map. To add a map to your layout, click the Map Frame button on the ribbon. From the drop-down menu, select the default map under U.S. counties. And remember to click on the map. And there we go. So again, we want to make it nice and big so it fills the map page up. So we're going to make sure we have Layout tab clicked on. We've got the map activated. We're going to click on Element. Migrate over to those display options. Change the constraint to fixed extent. Change the layer to counties. I'm sorry, change the layer to state outline. There we go. Fixed extent. All right, so now we can actually open that up so it's nice and centered on our map. Okay. And now we're going to click the map frame button again to add the North America map. So now we're going to map frame North America, and we can go to one that's our bookmark. See, it says source bookmark. Click on the map so it displays. Okay. And this as well, we want to actually America, all countries. America. Oh, I mean countries. Nope, that's not looking how I want to do, so we're going to do undo. By the way, the undo button is fabulous. If you don't like what's showing up, let me just do that. All right, I'm just going to pop it down there. See how it looks compared to the book example. And I'm just going to reduce its size a little bit. I think my mistake was that it was already at the fixed extent and I didn't need to change it, which is why I was doing that. Okay. So we can do page setup here. Moving on to page 42. Right-click on the virtual page outside any of the selected data frames. Layout properties. There we go. So I right-clicked outside the map frame in the layout view and got that pop-up menu, and then I selected layout properties. And here we have page setup, and this is where you can select all this page size and stuff. It's very similar to how Microsoft Word works, printing anything in there or in Microsoft Office. Okay, so continuing on, we're on page 43, working with map frames. So it says here that notice that the layout view of the maps overlap with no sense of priority. The county's map appears at the center of the layout, and the North America locator is pinned to the lower left corner. For now, let's rename the map frames for clarity. So select the county's map by clicking on it, making sure you've not locked your map frames. I was just reading through this, and I think I must have changed it already at some point, because she has you change the title of the layer to U.S. counties, which it already is. But we can actually do that, make the change she suggests. When I say she, I mean the author suggests for North America. So we're going to click on North America, and we're going to slow click the layer title name, and we're going to call it locator map, which is what the instructions say on page 44. So the point 3, the last sentence says, by default, ArcPro draws a neat line around your map frames. A neat line is just basically a black frame that goes around everything. But you can actually change that, which will have us do in the next section. Switch to the Map Frame tab, which has now appeared on the ribbon to access the formatting choices for the frame. So up there. So we clicked on Layout, back up to Map Frame. In the current selection drop-down menu at the top left corner, select Border. Okay, just skipping ahead slightly, we're going to make the map look the way she wants it, but not follow those exact instructions at the top of 44. So essentially we're just going to change the look of these, take away the neat line, and change the look of one of the borders just by going to the symbology. So basically she wants you to take away the neat line around the main map, around the main US counties map. So we'll make sure that one's highlighted, that layer. We're going to go over to symbology on the right. Oops. Element. Oops, I'm sorry, element here. And click on display. And where it says border, we're going to give the border no color. So that's going to create a no neat line. So if we come over here and just click on the body of the map in the white, it'll go away. You can see what it looks like. Now we're going to change that locator map. And in the text she says they want it 50% as the line color, 50% gray. So we'll be sure we're on that. We're on map frame 1, that went under element again, and third option over on the little icons, and where it says border, we're going to click the color square and select gray 50%. I'm actually going to increase the width, the thickness of that frame line as well. It doesn't say to, but it needs to be, I think. Okay, so now we're on 44 still. We're going to move on to resizing and positioning this data frame. So we're going to do the locator map. So we'll make sure we have the map frame 1 selected, since that's the map we'll be working with. Make sure the current selection is set to map frame. That's correct. And in the size and position at the right end of the ribbon, make the width 2.5 and the height 2. And you can look at the graphic on 45 for an example of how that will look. So we're going to go, make that a 1. It's 2.5. This is also a 1, and then this is too.